Good day, sir. We are the Group 1 and we are going to elaborate the 6 education-related concepts in changing education paradigms. Concept number 1, economic. Countries are trying to figure out how to prepare children for work when they simply don't know what work will look like in the future. So it means on how children or individuals, organizations, and societies employ time, money, and effort. Also of how society organizes and uses scarce resources to produce various types of knowledge and skills through formal schooling, and how these types of knowledge and skills are distributed to various groups in society. Concept number 2. The education system is rooted in an industrial paradigm. The problem with the current education system is that it was conceived in the cultural context of the Enlightenment and the economic context of the Industrial Revolution. So the modern education system was originally founded on an us and them mentality. The system thus divides people into smart people or academics and non-smart people or non-academics.
The third concept of education related is the cultural. Culture or cultural is the large presence in any society. It influences our ethics and morals, the way that we interact with others, and even the way that we think. The power of culture has on our behavior is undeniable. To the group of people who have common interest, value, moral attitude they have. This means that the cultural in 21st century is the development or new learning of culture that people apply. The generation is on the technology and they have get into applications in their lives through many aspects they discovered.
The fourth education-related concept presented is that we medicate our children in order for them to complete their education. Children with ADHD or attention deficit hyperactivity disorder are given Ritalin, Adderall, and other potentially dangerous drugs to help them focus and calm down. Many physicians, parents, and teachers have long believed that stimulant medications help children with ADHD learn because they can focus and behave better when they are medicated. Parents are effectively anesthetizing their children to get them through school. However, a new study finds that medication alone does not improve classroom learning for ADHD children. This implies that we must think differently and shift paradigms. We need to come up with a new way to help ADHD children focus in school without using medication. Because medication can have side effects. At school, parents and teachers may need to come up with new ways to keep children with ADHD from becoming bored and engaged in learning without resorting to severe medication. Just because a child has ADHD doesn't mean he or she has to take medication. There are natural or alternative methods for assisting an ADHD child to learn in school or to be willing to attend school. To properly find a solution and adapt to new ideas and changes, we must take a different path.
The fifth concept of education related is the education system kills creativity. Creativity is the interaction between the learning environment, both physical and social, the attitudes and attributes of both teachers and students. Divergent thinking is an essential capacity for creative thinking. It is the ability to see a lot of possible ways of interpreting and answering a question, to think laterally, and to see many possible answers, not just one. Sir Ken Robinson, FRSA, claims that school kills creativity, arguing that we don't grow into creativity, we grow out of it. Or rather, we get educated out of it. We students should have a voice in the education system today because mainly we are the ones who are being educated. So control of education should be in the hands of students. We should be centered first and foremost. If we students encouraged to be creative and supported by the parents, teachers, and society, then we can be more creative and productive. According to Robinson, creativity is as important as literacy and we should afford it the same status.
And the last education-related concept that we're able to identify from the video is misconception. So misconceptions are not isolated incidents but rather normal outcomes of learning. Students may form misconceptions as a result of exposure to inaccurate information, through faulty reasoning. Also, some misconceptions are significant barriers to new learning. These resemble intuitive theories that can lead students to misinterpret or reject new information. Deep misconceptions are difficult to change or correct. Simply presenting accurate information to students does little to change these misconceptions. So we should think different about human capacity. We should destroy this old misconception of academic, non-academic, abstract, theoretical, vocational, and see it for what it is but a myth. Then, recognize that the most great learning take place in groups, which collaboration is the stuff of growth, rather than individualizing people which separates them from their natural learning environments, and change the habitual ways of thinking of those within the education system and the habitats which they occupy. Studies have shown that misconceptions have a huge impact on students' learning performance.